Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
We got the college football playoff rankings today, and after I guess, conference championship exactly scenario that the Buckeyes, the Ohio State fans were looking for, USC goes down on Friday night. TCU goes down yesterday. Now they're still in the playoff. I think everybody was hoping for the Buckeyes then to jump up to number 3. So you got the game rematch against that team up north. You don't, the playoff committee director was saying that the conversation of, trying to avoid Ohio State, Michigan in the playoff never came up. And they asked him 3 different times, and he stuck to it. I appreciate him sticking to the statement. I don't believe that at all. Do you believe that, Jay, that the chance of the rivalry never came up when discussing where to put Ohio State versus TCU?
Oh, it had to have come up. They're totally lying if it didn't come up. Like,
it's
if we're all asking it, they're talking about it. But the NCAA lying? No way.
Oh boy,
no way.
That won't happen.
They're so honest, so giving. They love their students.
Bree, do you give Ohio State any chance against Georgia?
Yeah. It's football.
Any given Saturday.
Yeah, anything can happen. And, you're getting, hopefully,
I'll ask you a different
back.
question. Would you bet the money line that Ohio State would win?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Neither would I.
Even with the delay of us and her, us here in the studio and her on Zoom, that was a very quick and adamant no.
No. No chance. No. I don't make bets to lose them. No.
So Ohio State does get in. And Bree, you were just mentioning getting some healthy players back, I think, can be big for them. And hopefully, I'm hoping that not only health, but hunger is what Ohio State brings to playoff preparation.
I want to see a pissed off Ohio State Buckeyes team. I want to see a pissed off Ryan Day. I want to see a pissed off CJ Stroud. I want them to play so angry that entire game. At this point, I don't even care if they lose. I just want them to play mad. Like, you embarrassed yourself, basically, against that team up north.
If they're not mad, they're done. Like, I'll tell you that much.
Don't come out soft against Georgia. Don't do that.
Yeah, they've been soft.
Because then you just feed into that. I got into it with someone today. They snuck in. How? What team has a better resume for that 4 spot? And no one who has said anything to me about it has given me a good answer. Well, why play at USC? Why play in a championship? They lost to Utah twice.
Yeah. That's what I said when someone said it. I'm like, there isn't 4 better teams in Ohio State right now. And I don't think any team personally, like in the NCAA, is like on the level of Georgia. I think it's just Georgia and everybody else.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But this is a perfect reason why I think they should expand the playoffs, so then we don't have to hear this and be like, it'll just sort itself out.
Well, you're going to hear it no matter what.
Yeah, you're going to hear it no matter what.
Because then it's going to be the 13th and 14th
20 years from now, it's going to look like March Madness. We're going to have 64 teams in the bracket.
If you really want to keep these student athletes healthy, they need to come to an agreement that, okay, 4 teams really isn't enough, but we can't continue to allow this to grow because now we're adding more games than these kids are used to. They're still building their bodies, building their conditioning. Yeah, they'll play more games if they make it to the NFL, but what is that? The top 1% of college football is going to go to the NFL. There's a lot of guys that play college football that are going to play a bunch of games if you continue to add to the playoffs that aren't going to do that, and they're going to have wear and tear much earlier on in their lives that you just don't want to see. Like, it's so sad to see some of these guys have had to go through these health problems. And yeah, they put their bodies on the line and played the sport. But what we know now from medical standpoint, technology standpoint, and all of this research, trying to keep in such a physical sport, physically demanding sport, how to keep these student athletes and athletes that grow into the professional level as healthy as possible. I think that's the most important thing. You gotta have a firm line of, okay, we'll expand, but this is as far as we're going to go.
For sure.
Now, Jay, I don't know if there's actually a debate here.
No, we'll see.
Okay, just to give everyone a background, Jay and I had a little bit of discussion on Twitter, but it's so difficult with 280 characters, and you're not getting the tone of what someone's actually saying. So I said that Ohio State might as well end up into the tournament and into the playoffs. And USC was out because they lost to the same team twice. TCU only lost one game. In that kind of scenario, you're not going to be punished and losing in overtime by 3 points. You shouldn't really be punished for going to your conference championship and playing an extra game when a lot of other teams are at home. But the Buckeyes, they're not a playoff caliber team. But there are a lot of other teams that were vying for those last spots that in usual years, you don't feel like they are playing up to that playoff caliber level. Ohio State is just the best of the bunch. And, they're going to get players back. Hopefully, Smith and Jigba decides to play and he's healthy. You get your running game back, Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams having that backfield at your disposal with both of them available on the field. That could be big. I want to see a team. The reason why I said that they were not playoff caliber is because I felt like the guys wearing the scarlet and gray did not do the scarlet and gray justice. Ohio State has been playing football for a very long time. You play in the state of Ohio where football, American football, is king. And Ohio State is looked at as that fourth professional team. Even if you don't go to Ohio State, you are brought up an Ohio State fan. People question that all the time. The people that are against Ohio State question it all the time. But it means a lot to wear that scarlet and gray. It means a lot to go up against the disgusting maize and blue of that team up north. And to just lay down the last couple of years, especially at home, the way that they did. I want to see a pissed off team, whether they win or not. I better see a game against Georgia that is the best game that Georgia's been given all year, and you push them to the absolute limit. And if you win, tremendous. That is the expectation that Ohio State's supposed to win a national championship. So they still have a national championship expectation. Georgia's the best team in the country. You better push them to the absolute limit, if not more so, in that game and show what it truly means to don the scarlet and gray at Ohio State.
Well, I'm going to disappoint the watchers. I'm not going to debate you as hard as I thought I was. See, this is where I'll disagree.
This is why Twitter sucks.
This is where I'll disagree. I know what you said and how you worded it, and it's on how you interpret it and everything, is where you said they aren't a playoff caliber team. I think when they played the game against Michigan, they didn't have a playoff caliber game. This team as a body as a whole, for what they did for the whole season, I believe is a playoff caliber team the whole season. Last game against Michigan, no, they were not playing like a playoff caliber team. Are they capable of it? Yes. Are they capable of a championship team? Yes. But they got to get back up to there. And playing Georgia, if you want to redeem yourself, beat Georgia. Like, no one's going to care what happened against Michigan. If you come back and you beat Georgia and then you get the rematch against Michigan, no one's going to care. It's going to be a footnote of the season. It's going to be like when we won the first championship and we lost to Virginia in 2002. I thought we were undefeated that year, and my friend's like, no, we actually lost at the beginning of the year. I'm like, oh, no crap.
Yeah.
No, so, no one remembers that.
Right.
They remember you by your last game.
Yeah, and
winning cures all.
Yep.
And what's frustrated me about this team and what kind of was brought to a head in that game against the team up north was there's so many bad habits that you kind of see teams have, and they might scare you a little bit when they get into bigger matchups if they don't correct them, but you feel like those are easily correctable. But when your biggest fear is a team being soft, and just thinking that they can out-talent you, outspeed you, not outwork you, not out-heart you, Georgia's not coming into that game playing soft.
No.
They're not coming with a soft mentality. Ohio State, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, better find the physicality, the mental toughness, the physical toughness that it takes to play at Ohio State, to play in that game, or else it'll be another unfortunate version of what we saw Ohio State versus Florida, Ohio State versus LSU, SEC just running all over a Big Ten team and not scoring the opening touchdown, and then after that just getting your doors blown off. That cannot happen in this game. That is at least the first standard of that game. You cannot get your doors blown off.
No. I mean, if they come out and play with any semblance of heart, I'm a happy fan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I feel like, what made me so frustrated against the Michigan game. Not the fact that we lost. I can handle a loss. The fact that they laid down after the third quarter and just, it looked like they didn't care.
And let the team plant their flag in the middle of your field. I know it was talked about with Baker in Oklahoma. This is totally different. You let your rival bring their flag to the middle of your field after beating your doors off at your field.
How many former Buckeyes went on Twitter and was like, I would not let that happen?
Buckeyes.
Yeah.
There is no chance that, like, Ezekiel Elliott, that team, lets that happen. No. There's no chance.
Cardale Jones
ain't. Full-out brawl the second they tried it.
Oh,
and they just let it happen. Like, Baker, okay, whatever. I mean, whatever. It's Oklahoma. This is the team up north. You let them put that flag in the middle. Like, there's no chance. I don't remember who even tweeted it. It was a former Buckeye player that was like, I'm pissed that they let them do that.
I know Tyvis Powell did. I think it
was Tyvis.
Mike Doss.
I think it was Tyvis.
Yeah.
Mike Doss said something.
It wasn't Trey.
Gearing Conley said something. A bunch of Buckeyes said something about that. They were not happy that they didn't do anything. You ain't going to go and punch someone, but you push them over at least. Like, I'm sorry, no one's planting the flag on my football field. I'm going to come over there and just push you over, throw your flag somewhere in the trash can or something. Like,
we don't condone injuries or anything like that, even if it's your biggest rival. We don't condone that, any physical altercation, or what happened between Michigan State and Michigan in their tunnel. Like, that was absolutely deplorable. That should not be happening. But you should have at least coaching staffs for both teams having to try to separate the line of players for both, because one team cares, hey, you're not going to do that. Yes, you beat us, but that is not going to be acceptable. It's not acceptable to beat us either. And these young kids got comfortable. They were told that Ohio State always beats that team up north. Some of these younger guys that didn't actually play in 2020 because that game didn't happen, I think that hurt as well. Just like the U.S. not making the 2018 World Cup, those young players.
My dad is from Michigan. He has 5 brothers, 4 sisters.
Boy.
Do you know
your phone was blowing up?
Oh, I just turned it off. I was like, nope, not doing this today.
That helps.
I knew they were all calling to just rub it in because I do it to them for I don't know how many years in the past now. And they're like, oh, we finally got them 2 years in a row. I'm like, yeah, just turn this off real quick and toss it aside.
You know what Ohio State?
They still have a ways to catch up. Tell them to calm down.
You know what Ohio State player wouldn't have really let that happen? That would have been Cardale Jones.
Oh, no. He would never let that happen.